Vodacom July.
Yeah, last year there was a big issue at the finish there. The horse that crossed the line first was a horse called Wiley Hall. He was deemed to have interfered with the horse that ran second, called Legislate, and it went to the stipendiary steward's boardroom. The guys at police racing, they had a look at the film. They look at it from different angles. They look at it from the side, from the head on, and so forth. And they took the race away from the horse that crossed the line first, Wiley Hall, and gave it to Legislate. It was a popular result in terms of the punters because Legislate was one of the fancied horses. Wiley Hall was lesser fancied. This year, Wiley Hall comes back to try and redeem the crown.
But number 3
he's the third favourite. He's 6-1. He's 6-1. He's got a different rider aboard this time round. His form coming into the race is impeccable. He won his most recent start, which is a big race at Turffontein. So he comes into the race looking good. And, he's definitely one of the horses to beat this year. And, if justice is to be served in the race today, then Wiley Hall would take his place in the winner's enclosure.
Okay, but we know that could be the story on the cards. But with these things, there are surprises we've seen over the years. Horses that weren't even in the top 3 favourite has won the Durban July.
Well, everyone comes out of the woodwork, as I say often to people, to have a bet on the Vodacom Durban July. It's billed as Africa's greatest horse race. It's certainly South Africa's greatest horse race, and you really want to back the winner of the big race. People dream horses the night before. The Sangomas throw the bones and try and find out who's going to be the winner. And we look at form. Yeah. We sit there looking and studying form every day of our lives to try and find who the winner will be. And on form, there's a few horses that certainly come top of the pile, and I've obviously got my own selections, but different pundits and different punters read form differently. So it's all part and parcel. I mean, if you got together in a bar and you took 5 or 6 punters...
That's the other question I wanted to ask you. You're all experts, but you have come from such different backgrounds.
We all read it differently, and that's the greatest thing about horse racing. It was always billed as a game of skill, which means many years ago, horse racing was being able to bet on in South Africa, but you weren't able to go to a casino and you weren't able to bet on the lottery because this was billed as a game of skill. People looked at it and said, there's form to be read, and you can go out and do that. People do this for a living. There are professional punters out there that sit and play horse racing all day long, every day.
So what are the punters saying? I'm going to get your tips, but you're part of that discussion at the moment. What is the general conversation before I get to what Nico's maybe tips are, things you've got to watch out for?
Well, the general discussion is a horse called Legal Eagle, okay? Because he comes to the race. A year ago, no one knew who Legal Eagle was. He wasn't out on the tracks yet. He's a young horse. He's a 3-year-old. He comes from a very good stable of Sean Terry. He's won the race several times. And people are saying that this horse is just the boom horse. He's ridden by a top jockey.
But we've had that in the past where there's a big build-up for a horse and fails to deliver.
Well, he is the horse that everyone's talking about because he won his most recent start against older horses. Okay, previously he was running against his own age group, and he came out and ran away from the field here in Joburg at Turffontein. He goes down. He's never run at Gravel before. There's a question mark on whether he'll like the short Gravel straight. And personally, I'm backing to beat him. But he is the boom horse. He's been backed into favourite. He is now the ruling favourite. The horse for me is number 1, Futura. He comes in as the best horse in the race. He's the best weighted. Sorry, not the best weighted, but he carries the top weight in the race, which means he's the best horse in the race. He ran 3rd last year. It was a very, very good run. And for me, Futura, number 1, is the horse to beat. But Wiley Hall, as we mentioned earlier, has got a big chance. It's number 2. And then there's others that people are going to mess around with and play with. I mean, some people want to back the outsiders at 50 and 66 and 100 to 1 to try and get them in the winner's enclosure where they're going to make an absolute packet. And, of course, that's possible. They're in the race, so that is possible.
I absolutely love this. Simple tips to remember today. Simple tips.
Well, simple tips for me are just stick to what you like, okay? If you've got a number, if you've dreamt something, or there's a name that hits out at you as the one to back, then back it. There's also other different bets that people may confuse you with, but there's lots of money to be won. There's the Quartet, for example, today, which is set to be 12 million rand, okay? People can win a share of 12 million rand if you guess the first 4 past the post in the correct order. We're not only talking about the winner. People have to guess who's run 2nd, 3rd and 4th to win that particular bet. There's the Pick 6 today where you've got to guess the last 6 winners of the day. Today it's from races 4 to 9 at Gravel. That's going to be 12 million rand. But the simple tips to remember for the novice punter out there is have a look at what people say. But at the end of the day, go with your gut feel.
Nico, we're going to leave it there. Very entertaining chat. We must invite you back. Nico Kritsiotis is talking to us about the Vodacom Durban July. I am complete. This for me is gobbledygook. I don't know if Lebo can bet on it. Maybe she'll win a rand or 2. I don't know.